Good morning, listeners of Hot Topic and Fresh News. Today, Thursday, June 21st, 2024, we bring to light a pressing issue from Afghanistan. The Taliban's recent ban on opium cultivation, a mainstay for many Afghan farmers, is under threat due to worsening climate conditions. Over the past 50 years, temperatures in Afghanistan have soared, with an increase of up to 3.2 degrees Fahrenheit, significantly impacting agricultural practices. In the southern regions, this has led to a severe rise in soil salinity and a drastic drop in groundwater levels, complicating the growth of alternative crops like wheat, cotton, and even fruits such as pomegranates and apricots. These environmental challenges are forcing some farmers to reconsider poppy cultivation, which had been curtailed under the Taliban's regime due to religious beliefs. With Afghanistan previously accounting for over 80% of the global opium supply, the implications of these agricultural difficulties extend well beyond its borders. This situation highlights not only the struggles of the Afghan farmers but also the global complexities tied to drug trade and climate policies. Stay with us for more in-depth analysis on this evolving story. Welcome to Hot Topic and Fresh News, everyone. I'm your host, Emily Norma.
And I'm David, here with you as well.
Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated with the latest news. Straight to the hot topics.
Could you elaborate on how the Taliban's opium ban has been affected by climate change?
Certainly. Since the Taliban banned opium 3 years ago, Afghan farmers have struggled to grow alternative crops due to severe climate conditions. Prolonged droughts and increased soil salinity have made it difficult to cultivate traditional crops like wheat and cotton, which in turn has flooded the market and lowered prices.
What does this mean for the farmers there?
Many farmers in southern Afghanistan, which was once the heartland of opium poppy cultivation, are finding it impossible to make a living with these alternative crops. The harsh environmental conditions have even prevented the growth of other field crops and fruits like eggplants, pomegranates, and apricots.
Are there any potential solutions being explored?
The Taliban government is actively seeking alternatives that can tolerate the arid and saline conditions. Among the promising are saffron and pistachio. They are also appealing to other countries for the supply of modified, hardy seeds that could thrive in such challenging environments.
What could be the global implications if these efforts fail?
If the transition from opium to other crops fails, it could have extensive global repercussions. Remember, Afghanistan was the world's largest exporter of opium, accounting for more than 80% of the global supply before the ban. A failure could potentially revitalize the global opium market, impacting international drug trade and policies. With the average annual temperature in Afghanistan having risen by up to 3.2 degrees Fahrenheit over the last 50 years, the consequences are stark, particularly in the south where the increase has been as much as 4.3 degrees. It's distressing to see how these changes impact the most vulnerable, like the farmers who depend on their land for survival. How severe do you think the repercussions of these climate changes will be over the next few decades?
The situation is indeed dire. Groundwater levels in the Helmand River Basin, for instance, have dropped by an average of 8.5 feet between 2003 and 2021. This drop, combined with decreased winter precipitation, has increased soil salinity significantly, impacting what crops can be grown. The farmer's plight, like that of Atala Norzai, who can now only grow wheat and barley, paints a grim picture of the challenges faced by agricultural communities.
It's a tough scenario, especially with some farmers unable to afford the necessary measures to combat these conditions. The experimental farm in Kandahar, which had previously been started by the US-backed government to test the resistance of pomegranate trees to heat, shows the desperate attempts to find solutions. Despite these efforts, it seems the battle against climate change is increasingly looking like a losing fight. Wow. I can't help but be amazed at the rapidly changing world of hot-off-the-press news. Such revelations, such controversies, such breaking headlines. It's quite something, isn't it? What's your take, my dear audience? Are you enjoying the content? Don't forget to smash that like button, okay? I'm absolutely engrossed in these updates, and I hope you are too. Thanks a ton for tuning in. Let's continue.
With the opium ban initially seeming successful, what has led to the current struggles faced by Afghan farmers?
The ban led to an almost total halt in opium production, with decreases of 99.9% in Helmand and almost 90% in Kandahar. However, the alternative crops like wheat and cotton haven't been able to provide a sustainable income due to their oversupply in the market, which has drastically pushed down prices. This economic strain is now quite palpable in the marketplaces of southern Afghanistan.
How are these economic conditions affecting the local populace?
The frustration is growing among the farmers. Many reminisce about the higher profits from poppy cultivation and are struggling to cover their costs with the current crops. This tension even escalated to violent clashes in northeastern Afghanistan, highlighting the deep discontent with the current situation and the challenges the Taliban faces in enforcing the ban.
Considering these challenges, what are some proposed solutions to alleviate these struggles?
Hayatullah Rouhani, the head of the narcotics department in Herat, mentioned industrialization as a potential alternative to generate revenue. The idea is to transition from dependency on agriculture to more sustainable industrial solutions, which could potentially provide a more stable economic foundation. Personally, I believe the focus should be on developing long-term sustainable agricultural practices that align with the environmental conditions and economic realities of Afghanistan. Quick fixes like strict bans without adequate support mechanisms merely address the symptoms, not the root causes.
That's an optimistic view, but given the current climate and economic challenges, isn't that somewhat idealistic?
It may sound idealistic, but without aiming for sustainable solutions, we're looking at a cycle of dependency and poverty. It's crucial to implement comprehensive strategies that encompass both economic and environmental sustainability to truly make a difference.
I apologize for my skepticism. Your point on aiming for sustainable solutions does make a lot of sense given the complexities of the situation.
No worries at all. It's important to discuss these differing viewpoints to fully understand the depth of the issues and explore all possible solutions. Herat is aiming to become a significant industrial hub. Rouhani's vision includes building hundreds of factories, each potentially employing 500 individuals, not just farmers but also former addicts. This could be a monumental shift for Afghanistan's economy and social fabric.
That's quite an ambitious plan. How are they managing the transition for these individuals into the industrial workforce?
At a rehabilitation center in Herat, they're taking a hands-on approach. Addicts are trained to repair factory equipment and cell phones, equipping them with skills that are necessary for industrial jobs. However, resources are stretched thin. Rouhani even mentioned the challenges of funding basic amenities, like a swimming pool for the recovery of addicts, which he couldn't afford due to financial constraints.
With such an ambitious industrialization plan, what's the public sentiment about these changes? Are people optimistic about the shift towards industrial jobs?
The sentiment is mixed. While the initiative could provide much-needed employment and help reduce drug dependency by offering former addicts a new start, the financial hurdles and the current infrastructure are substantial barriers. The success of this plan hinges not just on building factories but also on creating a sustainable and supportive environment for all workers involved.
It sounds like a pivotal moment for Afghanistan, balancing between ambitious economic plans and the immediate social challenges.
Absolutely, and it's crucial for the international community to keep an eye on these developments. The outcomes here could set precedents for how post-conflict zones can integrate economic development with social rehabilitation. As always, the path is fraught with challenges, but the potential for a transformative change is undeniable. Let's keep following this story as it unfolds. Thanks for tuning into Hot Topic in Fresh News today. We dove deep into the evolving situation in Afghanistan, discussing the challenges and potential transformations within the region. Your engagement truly helps drive our conversation forward. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share our podcast. We love hearing your thoughts, so please leave us a comment below.
And hey, make sure you don't miss our daily episodes. Tomorrow might just bring something you wouldn't want to miss. Keep the conversation going, whether it's over a cup of coffee or your favorite social media platform. Remember, staying informed has never been more entertaining.
We're truly grateful for your continuous support and are eagerly looking forward to bringing you more intriguing stories and insightful discussions.
Thanks once again for listening, and don't forget to tune in next time for more from Hot Topic and Fresh News.
Stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news, our channel's content will amuse.